Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day everyone. Good day, ma'am. Before I present my chosen article, I am going to introduce myself first. Once again, I am Dumaraya Esnifa Guro from the class ELE 124, section UU. Now this slide will introduce you what is the article that I have chosen and will going to present. So the article is entitled Implication of Output Hypothesis on Teaching College English Writing. It is based on an interview in Jiangxi Normal University, and this is a study of Honglan Wei. So we are now here in the research questions. So dropping off, first, what are the drawbacks of college English writing class in China? Second, what suggestions can we get from this study on teaching college English writing in the future? So soon we will know if these questions were answered or not. Let's see. So let us now move on. Why did the author or the researcher used Merrill Swain's output hypothesis? So Merrill Swain's output hypothesis is obviously I presented or reported it in our class last time. So let's recall what's in this hypothesis. So according to Swain, output is very crucial to second language acquisition. Just a little background, Swain came up with this idea. It's because she used to be a practicomer in a school where in that school Krashen's input hypothesis is applied. But Swain noticed that even though input is given on that students, but still they are not they do not have acquired the language competence. So that is why Merrill Swain's uh, argue or came up with this output hypothesis. So the need for a learner to be pushed toward the delivery of a message that is not only conveyed, but that is conveyed precisely, coherently, and appropriately. So Swain has three, this hypothesis has three functions. First, noticing function. Second, hypothesis testing function. And lastly, metalinguistic function. So according to Swain, comprehensible output can advance the accuracy and fluency of that target language because the learners can realize their mistakes and then correct it guided by the teachers. So the next question is, what was the researcher reason why he chose or used Swain's output hypothesis on this study? So in China, where this study is conducted, it is a country where English speakers are rare. So as a result, there's a lot of schools or even universities that offer English class. So in the recent years, they have witnessed rather a steady increase of importance on English teaching. However, most English teaching class have focused too much on the students' input abilities, more specifically listening and reading, while speaking and writing as output abilities are ignored. So the researcher noticed that this foreign language acquisition class is more focused on input for like just the teachers are just teaching and teaching and teaching without really giving importance to output. So since writing is considered to be a way of output on the field of second language acquisition, teachers in college have begun to apply Swain's output hypothesis to teaching college English writing. So therefore, this paper will introduce the existing problems of applying the output hypothesis on the writing class in the college. So basically, the researcher used Swain's, he studied about the implication of the sway output hypothesis on college English writing. So the researcher will find out what are still the problems of implementing Swain's output hypothesis. So later we will find out what are those. So now let us hop on to the research methodology. So the selection of participants for this study took place at the very beginning of the school year 2017 to 2018. So for choosing the participants, the researcher set two criteria. First, the student, it must be a seniors in different classes from foreign language college. And then for the teachers, they must have 2 years experience or over 2 years of teaching writing class. So the researcher selected 20 students and 6 teachers that are all experienced writing. So for the instrument, the researcher conducted a semi-structured interview to gain an in-depth knowing of drawbacks of English writing class in the college. While conducting the interviews, the students and teachers were asked to answer 3 questions. So different questions in the students and the teachers. So what are these questions? For the students, they were asked first, how do you like writing class? Second, do you think writing class in your college are good enough or not? If not, what are the reasons? Third question, can you propose some suggestions to make writing class more beneficial to students? And then the teachers' questions go is the teacher's question first, what are students' attitude toward your writing class? Second, what challenges do you think writing class is facing? And third, can you make some suggestions to make writing class more beneficial to students? That's it for the research methodology. So after the research methodology, let us now move on how the researcher collect the data. So accordingly, based on his study, the students were asked to be interviewed on the weekend. It's because he believed that during the weekend, the students were not busy, unlike during weekdays that their schedule is very hectic. And then for the teachers, they were interviewed after they have finished their teaching in one certain day. So just what I have said earlier, that it is a structured interview. So it's scripted, the question is scripted. So during the interview, the conversations were recorded, of course, with the consent of the interviewees, and then they coded them into scripts, and then they analyzed and clarified them. So after the researcher analyzed all the materials, he found some problems and it existed in the present teacher of college English writing. So here's the findings. Number one, inadequate attention and application. Although writing is one of the 5 basic skills in English learning, it does not get adequate attention in reality. So based on the interview, actually according to students A, when I was a freshman, there was no writing class. So in the first year, we did not pay attention on it. In the second year, we had to take TEM4 or Test for English Majors Grade 4, and this exam requires writing and essay. So in this year, we took the writing classes. And student B also said, in this year, as a senior, there are no writing class anymore because we have finished TEM4. Student E added, even though we have to take TEM8 in the next year, but we do not need to take writing class anymore. So we see through these findings that uh, even though it is a class for second language acquisition, specifically they are targeting English as a second language, uh, output is not given adequate attention and application. So we see the importance of Swain's hypothesis here. So yeah, the learning that they are experiencing is lacking and insufficient. So the second finding is low motivation and interest. Motivation is a very important aspect for improving English proficiency, of course. Nevertheless, college students are lack of motivation of learning English. Why? Let's find out. Based on this interview, student F said, our compositions are usually composed of fixed outline, fixed sentences patterns, and fixed writing styles. Instead of expressing our true opinions, we usually recite others' compositions. Therefore, we do not have high motivation to improve our English writing ability and not interested in how to express our ideas. So that is very true that if they are not given a chance to express themselves in output, what I mean is output that they originally made that output. So they were less motivated of course to improve their English writing abilities because the teachers were giving them a fixed composition. So where's the learning there? They cannot evaluate themselves because of the teachers were giving them, or the students were not given a chance to express themselves, to test themselves. So just what I've said earlier, the learning is lacking, insufficient. So the last findings is inappropriate and insufficient feedback. So teachers' feedback is quite important for students to improve their English writing. Based on the interview again, student F said that teachers do not have enough time to give clear feedback for students' work. As a matter of fact, we care the scores of compositions more than the feedback. So in this way, students' writing output cannot be improved. Of course, it's because just the previous slide that they are not given a chance to make an output. And then there's inappropriate and insufficient feedback, and that is very important. Feedback is very important in learning. It's because through that the students to uh, tend to notice the gap, and then they will immediately know if they are going good, or if they are learning this, if they are learning the specific topic. So we see the students uh, care the scores of compositions more than the feedback. It's because at the first place, the teachers are not giving appropriate and sufficient feedback. So how they will learn, how they will know that they are not good in this area, they are good in this specific area. Like if they are given a chance to write their own composition, so through applying Swain's output hypothesis, of course. So if they are given uh, that chance to write their own composition, and then they hand it to the teachers, and then the teachers give it back with feedback, so that is very good practice. It's because the students will the notice where they were lacking, so through the feedback, of course, of the teachers. So in conclusion, the output hypothesis proposed by Swain, in order to increase learners' English proficiency, they need to generate output, like for example, produce language via speaking or writing, and receive feedback on the comprehensibility of their output. Input is necessary, yes, but not sufficient for language learning. Output is seen to be another essential part, as it promotes fluency of language, pushes students to engage syntactic process of language, gives students opportunities to test their hypothesis. So therefore, output can improve learners' language proficiency based on a few suggestions given by this thesis on teaching English writing class. So teachers' feedback is another important factor for improving students' writing, so the feedback should be clear, appropriate, and sufficient. Now that after we have concluded, let us now focus on the recommendation. The problems have been discussed above, and here are some suggestions on college English teaching. First, raise the awareness of the importance of English writing. A main form of output, it must be taken seriously and be practiced more frequently. Students should be given more chance to express themselves during the class time. So for all the teachers out there, it is recommended that you should raise awareness of the importance of an output of your students, so that they will notice the gap. They will know whether they are doing good or not. And then second is appropriate feedback is encouraged in writing class. English writing assignments are usually made and then handed back to the teacher. During the process of writing, students usually play as all the singers as they think, write, and reread the feedback by themselves. So of course, uh, uh, feedback is highly encouraged in any type of learning, not just in writing, but any type of class. The teacher rather should always or must always give feedback to his or her students. It's because it is one of Swain's output hypothesis that in order for you to notice the gap, there must also be a feedback from an expert or from a teacher, so that the student will be aware of his mistakes, and next time he will do better. Now for the references, they are all listed here, so it's almost from Swain's output hypothesis. And that would be the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope I am clear and understood. Thank you.